My opinion is that Matt James, like, I don't think he understands the gravity of meeting a woman's parents. Like, it feels like he has said he's only been in a relationship that's been as long as 4 months. I think he might be 6 weeks into it with these women, but it ain't 6 weeks when you bring the parents along and you're talking about engagements. And I don't know. So it does feel like they're just like, hey, so what do you feel about my daughter? And he gives a lot of very top line answers. So it's like, I agree with you. There's got to be more in-depth questions, but I don't know. I guess that, to me, that happens when you're more comfortable around one another. You get to know one another. Maybe if they spent the whole day together instead of just one cocktail, it'd be better.
I know. And okay, obviously you talk a lot of relationships on your J Train podcast, you know, just in general. Do you think it's a red flag that Matt James, because how old is he, Jared? Is he 28?
He's 29. I think he's 29. But maybe 28. You might be right. I don't know. But around that age.
Okay. Do you think it's a red flag that his longest relationship was 4 months prior to the show?
I don't think it's a red flag. I think, you know, especially with the state of dating in 2021, where it's a lot of like non-relationship relationships, a lot of not labeling, a lot of we're exclusive but not together, a lot of like different labels that have come up just by people trying to like not, you know, dig into, a serious thing. Like, it makes sense. I'm not saying he's not strange. If you haven't been in a relationship at 29 that's longer than 4 months, it's not a weird thing in this day and age. I would say the red flag comes when he's not taking it seriously. And I don't think he's not taking these relationships seriously. I think he cares about these people and their time. But I think the thing that's missing from this season of The Bachelor is when you've been on the show before, you get to the finish line. It's usually someone that's gotten to the end-ish. So they are like, oh, that's what we're moving towards, especially men. Men love wasting time. Someone was like, he seems like a New York City fuckboy. And I was like, I don't think he seems like a New York City fuckboy. I think he seems like a New York City no rush. He's in no rush. He's in no hurry to get in a relationship. There is no social negativity that comes with, hey, it just didn't work out, like it does sometimes for a woman. That's not fair. That's not great. But that's societally, a woman brings a guy home to her parents. It's a much more serious, like,
yeah. So
how do you think about my daughter? Like, I bring my girlfriend home. My dad's like, nice, cool, she's cute. Like, it's not. It's not just the social stuff is just different. So I think when you have been on the show before and you get dumped in the final 3, 2, 4, whatever it might be, you now get whatever amount of time it takes for the Bachelor startup. You go, do I want to be engaged? Oh, that's what a breakup feels like. Oh, I don't think Matt James has ever dealt with. If it's 4 months, it's as long as thing. I don't think he's ever done a breakup. I don't think he's ever seen someone go, had someone say, you're not my person, like it did last week. I don't think he's ever had someone look at him and go, let's be together, let's move in, and him be like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't move in. I think these are things that, like, if you're not sure, if you've never done them before, some people can go straight up the dating mountain and get to the peak of engagement. No problem. But I'm saying for a lot of people in this day and age where, these relationships are the dating apps, the multiple options, this guy's going to have a Instagram account that's going to be full of 500,000, women. I don't think he understands the severity of the situation that he's in. Of
what he's in for. By the way, wasn't the tantric yoga date for Serena P, don't you feel like that was the moment she was out? I mean, to me, like she was so done. And the dates, as a new Bachelor fan, are so random. Sometimes the producers are like shutting down a whole carnival. And then the next thing you know, they're like you said, they're in Canada rolling out some nasty pontoon or whatever. I mean, it's like, where is the dates are so erratic.
Well, it's funny that you're getting in like during a quarantine version of The Bachelor. Usually they're traveling places, they're going to like all around the world. Part of the show is to be given a tour of the world a little bit, to see vacation spots. It's a whole there's a whole other element that we're missing because they're in one location the whole time. So the producers are showing how their lack of creativity with these dates. They're like, it's like, yeah, rub against each other while a yoga teacher and ayahuasca stares at you. Like, it's like kind of, you're like, okay, shouldn't you do something else? Like, it feels like there's more creativity that could be had. But the yoga date, to me, again, and I know I sound like I'm coming down. My job, or the job I've given myself.
I love it. Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed is when I look at the show, I'm looking at the people, the small moments. 30 women dating one man is a stupid show. A man and a woman going on a tantric yoga date and him not getting the vibe that this person is uncomfortable. Now we have an interesting subject. Now we have something to talk about. How is it that Matt James didn't say, hey, let's just do something else? He's the leader of this show, and I understand he's never been on the show, but when you're the Bachelor, when you're the Bachelorette, you get to lead. You can make it your show. So at no point did he say, yeah, let's just say, we'll just have drinks. We'll hang out. Like, forget it. Like, and it kind of shows you that he is a part of all the drama that's gone on in the beginning of the season. He was blissfully unaware of every moment that these women were at each other's throats. He could have stepped in earlier. He didn't need Katie coming up to him. And then he was unaware when she's sitting there being like, I am massively uncomfortable. And then after she tells him she's uncomfortable, they go on the dinner date and he's like, so did you think I was going to fall on you? It's like, dude,
she hated
it. It's over. She hated it. You know?
No, like, he keeps bringing. You're right. He's really terrible at reading the room. He's really bad.
I think that also comes when you're like a gorgeous alpha, like, I don't think, and you're like an energetic dude, which he does come off as being. He comes off as being like, I want to be the guy doing the demo during gym class. Like, gym teacher's like, can anyone come out, show me how to play dodgeball? He's like, me. And he jumps up. Like, he's that guy. And when you're that guy, it so is. And when you're that guy, you're like genuinely a good guy. You genuinely don't mean it. But you might not have the thing that I have. I like to think that I have, that I'm thinking of who's the most uncomfortable in the room, not the person who's the most comfortable in the room. And that comes with like feeling uncomfortable yourself. Maybe he's never really felt that uncomfortable.
You are so right about that. There is something, nerdy and yet overachiever about him. And yeah, there is a disconnect with him. And I think you really put your finger on it. That is it.
It's tough. And again, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking. This isn't to say he's a bad person. I'm just saying when you watch this show with a critical eye, like, I love talking about dating relationships. I love the subject. It's easier to be critical than it is to be in it yourself. So it
totally.
is, like I give advice on the podcast all the time. Advice is easy to give. It's really hard to take. So I say this with empathy for Matt. I think he's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him. I say this just as a critical watcher of the show. It just seems like you have one guy that is like last episode, he looked at one of the women, I think it was Rachel or someone, and she was like, they're kind of talking about like, are you falling in love? He's like, she's like asking about the future. And he's like, just have fun. It's like, this isn't fun for any of these women. This is business. Like, it's fun for you because you're about to go to the fantasy suites with 3 beautiful women. But all these women are like, no, I'm not here for fun. I'm here for business. I'm here to walk away with a ring. I'm here to walk away looking at the brunch table being like, that's right. The date, get your bridesmaids dresses ready. Hurry up. Get fitted. Yeah. I need to be the queen.
And they're emotionally tortured by it. So you're right. I mean, just have fun. The tears, the emotions, the bullying they've been through. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Absolutely. And he's like, have fun. It's like, what? I've just embarrassed myself with 30 other women. What are you talking about? Have fun.